What's going on, my fellow degenerates? Passion here once again with another video. This is a bit of an impromptu news video. I wanted to cover this. I know a lot of people already have, but I wanted to kind of give my 2 cents on it. As everybody probably knows by now, 2023 was the last season for the Overwatch League. And since then, we've still had the Overwatch League kind of team cosmetics in the shop to buy with Overwatch League tokens. And I know for a lot of people, myself included, like, the fate of those cosmetics has kind of been up in the air since the Overwatch League disbanded, right? So, like, we're thinking to ourselves, okay, well, they're still in the shop now, but, like, how long will they be there now that they switched over to the OWCS? Like what's gonna happen to these Overwatch League skins and everything? Well, today Blizzard has made an announcement, and I'm gonna go over this blog post. This is available like in the in-game launcher. I'm sure they posted it on the website as well. But the TLDR of it is the Overwatch League kind of store is kind of going away. They will cease sales of Overwatch League stuff nearly at the end of this year. But we're gonna go through this blog post together. So it says, complete your collection with the Overwatch League inventory sale. So this was posted today, September 10th. As Overwatch esports continues into its new era with the Overwatch Champion Series, we're providing an update on our upcoming Overwatch League team inventory sale and OWL tokens. From September 10th through October 15th, 2024, the OWL shop will unvault its biggest slate of items ever, primarily with OWL team inventory. This OWL team inventory sale will give players the opportunity to purchase new and legacy Overwatch League team skins, Overwatch League and Contenders home and away skins, plus other in-game items. This includes items like every annual Overwatch League Team Championship skin and the 2018 to 2019 Florida Mayhem home and away skins. By the way, I'm going to interject here. I just checked out the shop. There is one skin that is still not available in this unvaulting. Can you guess what it is? It's the Alien Zarya, of course. Even though they are unvaulting pretty much everything else that has ever come out in terms of the Overwatch League, they're not unvaulting Sinatra's Alien Zarya skin. So that skin is still pretty rare. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like they could have, like, if it's going to be going away, I feel like they could have just been, you know what, guys, fine, here's the Alien Zarya skin. I know that, like, it would have probably caused some big controversy if they did that, but honestly, if they're going to be getting rid of this anyway, like, come on. Like, give players who wanted a second chance to get it, and then because you're going to be done with it anyway. You're going to be done with it anyway after this whole thing, like, closes shop. So, like, you know, you can ride out like a couple months of, you know, bad press or whatever, and you could ride it out and give us that Alien Zarya skin, but unfortunately they're not going to do that. But anyways, continuing on. We will also be unvaulting some legendary Overwatch League skins, such as All-Star Genji. These skins will be sold individually in the OWL shop for OWL tokens. Additionally, they will be made available in the Overwatch 2 main featured shop in a discounted bundle purchasable with Overwatch 2 coins on the following schedule. So September 10th through the 24th, you can get the unvaulted All-Stars bundle with All-Star Mercy, All-Star Reinhardt, All-Star Lucio, and All-Star Diva. October 1st through the 8th, you can do the bundle with All-Star Tracer, All-Star Genji, Zen Nakiji, Zenyatta, and Good and Evil Echo. October 8th through the 15th, you can do the Overwatch League 2022 tournament bundle with Luchador Reaper, Royal Knight Mercy, Happy Genji, and Clockwork Zenyatta. So after the conclusion of the OWL Team inventory sale, we'll unvault additional non-team branded legendary Overwatch League skins that will be exclusive to the Overwatch 2 main featured shop. Also, following the OWL Team inventory sale, the Overwatch League shop will remain open until at least December 2025. with limited inventory purchasable using remaining OWL token balances. Upon any closure of the Overwatch League shop, the Overwatch League tokens will be converted to in-game Overwatch currency. We'll be sure to share those details as they become relevant, but the Overwatch League token will no longer be sold as of December 9th, 2024. So, they have a little bit of an FAQ down here. So, Overwatch League store and tokens. Number 1, what is happening with the Overwatch League token? The Overwatch League token might retire as an in-game currency in Overwatch 2. During OWL Team Inventory Sale, players can spend their tokens to purchase select Overwatch League inventory. Any unspent Overwatch League tokens will remain in players' accounts. Players can continue to spend OWL tokens after the conclusion of the OWL Team Inventory Sale. There will be reduced inventory, including at least the 20 OWL Team home and away skins available at the start of the OWL 2023 season. Number 2, when is the last day we can buy OWL tokens? OWL tokens will no longer be purchasable after December 9th, 2024. What happens if I don't spend my OWL tokens? It says the Overwatch League shop will remain open until at least December 2025 with limited inventory purchasable with players' remaining OWL token balances. If the Overwatch League shop closes, OWL tokens will be converted to an in-game Overwatch currency. So this kind of just goes on to talk more about more about the sale and the skins. Like it mentions that you'll have Flying Ace Winston, Midas Roadhog, Thunder Doomfist, Zhulang's Sombra, Chain King Reaper. You'll have the OWL Team weapon charms in both Standard and Gold Edition. Other skins are going to be like Tiger Luchador Reaper, Royal Gladiator Mercy, every team's Prideful Reinhardt skin, the Fuel Biker 76. I've gone over some of like the other ones, that they've mentioned. But again, notable absent in all of this is Alien Zarya, and I kind of wish that they would just kind of put up with the bad press for a little while and just release the Alien Zarya. Like if they're gonna be done with this whole Overwatch League skin thing, and they're dropping their biggest drop that they've ever done in terms of Overwatch League cosmetics, just give us the Alien Zarya. I mean, there's still time. There's still time for them to like do it. They still got a few more months. Like I say, the tokens will be purchasable up through December 9th. Is that what it said? December 9th? Yeah, December 9th. So, and the shop will remain open for at least another year before that closes down. But, yeah, it's kind of a sad day for the Overwatch League like fans and everything. Like, I remember making my video back when the Overwatch League was announced. Like, I did the whole, like, video on when it was announced at BlizzCon, and then I kind of went into my predictions for it, and then kind of my reactions to some of the first ever matches that they had. I know that I complained in my video about, like, why I came back to Overwatch, that the Overwatch League did start to feel kind of samey. Like, a lot of the teams just started, like, you either had Koreans on your team, or you just lost. Like, that was kind of, like, the state of the Overwatch League. And I noticed that, I didn't even mention this in my other video, but I noticed that, like, the Philadelphia Fusion was, like, so full of Koreans that they just decided to stop pretending they were representing Philadelphia and just became another team representing Seoul. So, like, I feel like it kind of was handled a bit poorly, but in concept, like, I did like the Overwatch League. Like, I kind of, what I would have preferred is, like, if I was to, like, kind of go back in time and, like, kind of fix the Overwatch League, what I would have done is I would have made it so the North American teams didn't kind of coexist with the overseas teams, and that the North American teams had to sign, like, North American talent. You know what I mean? And then you could have a separate part of the Overwatch League that was, and I think they tried this at some point, but, like, by then, like, it was already, like, too late to do it. But, like, have the other teams for, like, teams in Europe and Asia and Japan and, like the Pacific regions and all that. have these two differently. Have the North America version, which I guess you could include some Mexican teams if you wanted to do that. But like North American version, like Canada, U.S., Mexico, do all that, right? And then, or hell, maybe you could even do like some of like the South American teams, like, you know, Brazil and Argentina and stuff like that. Like you could have that, right? And then you have a separate kind of Overwatch League for the other teams, kind of like how they structure the OWCS right now. You know, they have the North American, and then they have the Europe, and then they have the other teams, right? And you could have that kind of all running simultaneously, and then you kind of build up to like the grand finale where everybody, you know, comes together and it becomes a big playoff against all the teams, and then you start having, like, you know, the big games with NA teams going up against Korean teams and all that, and then if Korea wins all that, well then fine, you know, that's acceptable. But I didn't like how, like, you know, it sounds kind of bad. It sounds kind of bad, but I didn't like how, you know, that the Koreans were just kind of able to come into the Overwatch League and just stomp everyone. Like, that kind of made it kind of unfun. Like, you would watch, like, I would watch the Boston Uprising matches, and then it'd be like, oh, well, Boston's going up against Seoul again. Well, why even bother watching? You know, so, like, the domination from Korea, I think, kind of ruined a lot of the NA games. So that's kind of what I wish they would have done. And then maybe, you know, that would have helped the Overwatch League. But, I mean, there's been many reasons why the Overwatch League kind of failed, and even that, like, wasn't even really one of them. I mean, people were still watching despite all that. It was more the fact of, one, like, COVID did not help with, like, canceling all those grandstand matches. That did not help. Then you had the whole instance of, like, teams kind of owing money to Blizzard. Like, Blizzard wanted teams to come in and make the Overwatch League a thing, but the buy-in price was so high that, you know, initially what ended up happening is Blizzard at first just kind of waived those entry fees for some teams to come on in and, like, make the Overwatch League bigger. And then when it came time to actually, you know, okay, well, we waived these fees temporarily for you guys to come in and make us this big deal, time to pay up. Oh, well, sorry, we don't have the money because our team's sucking, you know, like, so that's kind of, it was mostly money that ruined the Overwatch League, as does most esports. But I will have always fond memories of watching the Overwatch League, and I have fond memories of, you know, rooting for certain players. Like, I still, even in OWCS, like, I still try to, like, seek out and support teams who have some of that Boston Uprising roster still on them. Like, I'm forgetting what team it is. There's a team in, I think, the Pacific region. It's either Pacific or Korea. I can't remember which. And I could look it up. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments. But, like, there's a team, I think it's in Pacific region, that Color Hex is actually a part of. And Color Hex used to be one of, like, the main Boston Uprising players. So, like I'll try to support these players that I remember from the Overwatch League. And I did kind of like the whole kind of, you know, regionalization of it. I know a lot of, like, organizations didn't like that. Like, a lot of organizations, especially you're talking stuff like Misfits and Fnatic and stuff, like, they hated it. They hated it. NRG hated it. Why? Because they couldn't promote their brand. Like, they basically, Overwatch League basically said, you want in on the essential, like, quintessential Overwatch esports experience? You got to go by what we can call, like, we decide what your name is. You can't call yourself, like, your organization name. And I know a lot of the organizations hated that, but, like, to me as a fan, like, I love that. Like, I love being able to support my Boston Uprising just like I would support the Boston Celtics or the Boston Red Sox or the New England Patriots. You know, like, you got to support your team based on where you were from. And while that may not have made a lot of financial sense and it may not have made a whole lot of marketing sense, like, for these organizations, like, I personally loved that. Like, I loved being able to rep my city in Overwatch, you know, but So I'll always have fond memories of the Overwatch League, and I'm glad that we can maybe go back and like on YouTube and like watch some of those older matches. And like I always remember like how the Shanghai Dragons went from being the worst team in the league, couldn't take a single map off of anyone, and you know, went that whole like first season loss after loss after loss, and then eventually kind of turned it around to being a championship winning team. You know, like, so that underdog story with the Shanghai Dragons was really nice as well. And I was so convinced that, you know, Seoul was going to take that first championship back in 2018, and then surprisingly London takes it. Like, you know, like that grand finals. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I remember it being pretty hype. I remember that grand finals with the London Spitfire being incredibly hype. And there's so many just unforgettable moments of the Overwatch League. So I will definitely, you know, miss the Overwatch League. I know it's been gone for like a year now, right? But like, I'll definitely miss it. And while the OWCS like is okay, I think it doesn't have really the magic that the Overwatch League had, because again, you're gone back to that kind of using, you know, organization names, and the broadcasting experience isn't as grand, and the only, like, literally Korea is like the only region where they even show that they have fans there watching. Like, so you know, I miss the spectacle of it. Like, I miss the fan and player interaction of the Overwatch League that the OWCS just hasn't really been able to replicate. Hopefully in the future, like, we can come up with some kind of way to at the very least like make Overwatch esports more of like a traveling kind of thing. Like, I would legitimately, like, it doesn't matter if they're representing Boston or not, like, I would go to an Overwatch League esports event in Boston should it ever come. Right? And the fact that Boston as a team just doesn't even exist anymore, and the fact that, like I said, like, Korea just kind of dominates the esports scene so much, like, a lot of, purely based on money, a lot of places aren't gonna take that risk, and aren't gonna like put in the money to make something like that happen. But I'll definitely miss it, and there are some skins I definitely want to get. Like, I have a few of the old Overwatch League skins, but I'll probably use this sale to pick up some more. Like, it doesn't look like it actually mentioned it in this blog, but like the skins are basically half off. They used to be 300 Overwatch coin or Overwatch League tokens, and now they're 150 per skin. So I'll try to pick up some more as a way to kind of remember the Overwatch League and remember the times we had with it. But I've rambled on long enough. You're probably sick of hearing me talk about it at this point, so I'm gonna end this here. Remember, guys, if you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I'm Passion, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Yeah. Turn me on a pop up on the screen, what you know about it. Get up and say hello to me, you won't live without it. Empty flesh, it tastes like this.